Revenge films.
My name is Yuriko, a 25-year-old office worker living with my husband, Shoya. Through the introduction of my brother, who is a film director 10 years older, I've been working at a video production company for 5 years. I met my husband through a friend's introduction, so we have many mutual acquaintances. Therefore, our wedding was very lively. We're thought of as a close couple by those around us, but I actually have complaints. My husband has a childhood friend named Sakura, and from when we were dating, despite knowing about my existence as his girlfriend, Sakura made advances on my husband. I thought surely after marriage they wouldn't meet alone anymore, but conversely after marriage, he meets her alone more than before. I couldn't help hating it, but my husband didn't seem to mind. Excluding Sakura's existence, married life was quite peaceful, so I didn't feel like divorcing, though I wished something could be done about it. Then one day, when I went to the entrance to greet my husband coming home from work, next to my husband was Sakura's figure. My husband said as if it were normal,
"Sakura's staying over tonight,"
and invited her into the house without my permission, when I involuntarily said, "Staying over? Isn't that way too inconsiderate?" Sakura said while laughing, "Shoya and I are more than friends, less than lovers," and wrapped her arm around my husband's waist. My husband said,
"Stop joking around,"
and laughed, but it's no laughing matter to me. That day Sakura suddenly came to stay over, so there wasn't enough food. Then my husband said,
"You eat something random like instant noodle,"
and tried to let Sakura eat my portion of dinner, and the two ignored me and started drinking the alcohol they'd brought. After about an hour, the two started getting drunk, stuck together, and started boldly flirting right in front of me. Unable to bear it, I said, "Hey, enough already! That's clearly cheating!" Then Sakura again said, "Shoya and I are more than friends, less than lovers," and clung to my husband. Having reached my limit of patience, I secretly filmed that scene. After that, the two started getting intimate on the sofa, so I filmed everything and saved it securely. In the end, there was no sign of leaving until late at night, so I said to Sakura, "Please go home," and started cleaning up the dishes and alcohol without permission. At that moment, my husband became furious at me.
"That's rude to a guest. That's it, Sakura, let's go,"
he said, took Sakura's hand, and rushed out of the house. I immediately secretly followed them. Following them without being noticed, my husband and Sakura looked around nervously before getting into a taxi. I also caught a taxi and followed without losing sight of them, and they arrived at a hotel. The two didn't notice I was there and entered the hotel arm in arm affectionately. Having filmed that moment, I resolved to divorce my husband. The next day, my husband still hadn't come home by morning, so I decided to go to work without waiting. When I went to the company, my brother happened to be there, and seeing my exhausted face, said,
"What's wrong?"
I involuntarily consulted my brother about my husband and Sakura while crying and told him I'd divorce. Hearing that, my brother became furious at my husband, said he wouldn't let this slide, and started thinking of revenge methods. At my brother's suggestion, I resolved to get revenge on my husband and Sakura. From now until then, we'd live as if nothing happened. A few days later, under the pretext of having a screening of my brother's newly directed film, I invited my husband and Sakura, my in-laws and Sakura's parents, and my parents. When everyone gathered at the screening space my brother rented, they couldn't flirt as usual in front of the parents, so my husband and Sakura seemed somehow distant. When my brother said he'd start the screening, my in-laws clapped in delight. Sakura's parents said, "Is it really okay that we were invited too?" Somewhat hesitantly, I said, "I really wanted Sakura, who's more than friends with my husband, to see it," and grinned. When my brother turned off the venue lights, on the screen, photos of my husband and Sakura that I'd taken were displayed one after another. Seeing that, my parents glared at my husband, looking about to explode with anger. My in-laws covered their mouths, looking surprised. And Sakura's parents awkwardly averted their eyes. When the last photo showed the two entering the hotel, my parents finally became furious. My father grabbed my husband's collar and shouted,
"What is the meaning of this? It's not what you think! Sakura is just a childhood friend!"
He made excuses, but interrupting that, I said, You said more than friends, less than lovers, but you're properly doing what you do, huh? When I said that, he couldn't say anything more. My in-laws bowed to the ground and apologized to me. "Please, just this once, please forgive him," she said. Sakura's parents also continued apologizing to me. "We'll pay alimony, so please forgive us." As for Sakura herself, looking sulky, "What? We're more than friends, less than lovers, so it's fine, isn't it?" Even at this point, she wouldn't give up on her defiant attitude. I thrust divorce papers at my husband, urging him to sign. Then my husband said,
I don't want to divorce! We had such a grand wedding ceremony! What will people say?
And bowed to the ground along with his parents. Seeing that, Sakura said, "Hey, you said you'd divorce your wife any time. Was that a lie?" She became furious. To someone like her, my husband said,
Of course that was a lie! I have no intention of divorcing! Don't say unnecessary things!
He yelled. Sakura was apparently quite shocked and collapsed crying on the spot. "I was deceived! The worst!" she screamed. I said, "I can't deal with this, so hurry up and sign the divorce papers. I'll be claiming alimony for this," and made my husband hold the pen. My husband apologized while crying, but neither I nor my parents accepted it. Having decided on divorce, I claimed alimony from both of them. Having received a large sum of $50,000 from them, I signed a lease for an apartment and started living alone. After that, my husband sent many line messages seeking reconciliation, but since he was persistent, I decided to block him. After the divorce was finalized, my husband was disowned by his parents, and having exhausted his savings to pay alimony, had no financial leeway and came to work seriously at his job. However, because I sent certified mail about the affair to my husband and Sakura's workplaces, the two became the subject of affair rumors at their respective companies, and after a while couldn't endure it and voluntarily resigned. Sakura was apparently also disowned by her parents, and just when you'd think the two would continue dating, my husband, shocked by the divorce, became mentally ill and started behaving strangely, and frightened Sakura, who apparently abandoned my husband and ran away. Sakura, who lost her job, also had nowhere to live and is homeless now. My husband caused police incidents due to his strange behavior and is currently hospitalized in a psychiatric hospital. When I reported the divorce to mutual friends, since I told them all the circumstances, no one remained around the two. As a result, having broken up, each of the two came to lead lonely lives. Even though they insisted so much on being more than friends, less than lovers, and got along, the two will probably never meet again. The price of the affair was probably greater than the two imagined. As for me, soon after starting to live alone, I met a male screenwriter through my brother and started dating. Unlike my husband, he's the devoted and serious type, so there's no worry about cheating. My brother also highly praises him as a good person, so I can probably date him with peace of mind. From now on, I'll stop worrying about being depressed and about what my husband and Sakura did to me, and want to get along well with my new boyfriend. And when I get married someday, I vowed to become far happier than my first marriage.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.